SourceFed Nerd. I'm Trisha Hirschberger, and today we are going to discuss a phone that many consider to be the best Android smartphone out there. And I have to say, it's kind of hard to disagree. Let's tech inspect the HTC One. Now, when it comes to design, the One gets top marks. It's absolutely gorgeous. And each unit takes 200 minutes to make using a technique called zero gap injection molding. It's roughly 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches and weighs 5.4 ounces. And while it does seem a little bit heavy, it feels 100% sturdy. Pair that shell with Gorilla Glass 2, and that's completely worth the extra weight. I mean, you can like throw it against the ground. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that. Now, my only design qualms are that the power button, which doubles as an IR blaster to control your TV, cool, is a little bit too flush and kind of hard to find in a pinch. Also, at the bottom of the phone, you'll see an HTC logo, a back button, and a home button. Now, I really want the HTC logo to be another button, but that's just a matter of personal preference. I'm not crazy that I have to hold down or double tap the home key to access Google Now and recently used apps, respectively, but overall, this design is awesome. Moving on to the 4.7-inch 1920 by 1080 SLCD3 screen, cramming 468 ppi, or pixels per inch. That is ridiculously good and by far the best out there on the market right now. The screen is a little bit brighter than its HTC predecessors, the DNA and the One X. The viewing angles are completely fantastic. The colors look great, but not quite as rich as you'd find on an AMOLED, though it's way easier to read in direct sunlight than my S3. This screen is gorgeous. Looks aside, let's get into the guts. Hardware specs include a super fast 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 and 2 gigabytes of RAM. Look, Ma! No lag, not at all. Internally, you're looking at 32 or 64 gigabytes of memory with no expandable SD slot. That's the sacrifice for that sexy bod. Connectivity includes Bluetooth, NFC, a micro USB/MHL port, DLNA, and don't forget that IR blaster. Cool stuff. Now, I'd like to see that 2300 milliamp non-replaceable battery be a little bit larger and replaceable, but I've been messing with it all day, every day this week, and it gets me through the workday just fine. The front-facing camera is a 2.1 megapixel, 88-degree wide-angle camera, so your selfies have more background than you in them, and that's a good thing. Now, the rear camera, that's where things get real interesting. HTC has proclaimed that higher megapixels does not a better camera make. They instead give us ultra pixels, larger pixels that can capture more light. Less pixels, but larger. They gave the camera its own dedicated processor chip, the aperture is f2.0, and optical image stabilization. All this to ensure that users, quote, get fantastic pictures and videos in low light, but they can capture sharp action shots without a flash. I put it to the test and used some of the bajillion filters that come stock. Check it out. Let's move on to some sweet vids I took at the office. Slow-mo style. Okay, that's enough slow-mo. Thanks, Steve. Next vid?
No, I'm often told that there's a pot of gold, but I don't see no bleeping rainbow and my coffee's cold.
Now, when you watch the video, you might have noticed that the sound kicks ass. Boom Sound dual front stereo speakers with built-in amplifiers lead to the first phone speakers I am happy to turn all the way up. Do you hear any distortion? Because I don't. And the audio recorded by the mic, well, both mics, is great too. HTC One's HDR mic also has dual built-in microphones that can lessen excessive background noise. So I tried it out in the office.
Cheerios
Oh, they were fucking fresh.
are a good snack.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't getting in trouble.
Because
That's because nobody
they're
said
whole
anything.
grain.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're small and they make me feel like a giant.
What else did you think?
I mean, I can still hear Joe and Meg, but to be fair, they are really loud people sometimes. And the dual mics are really cool when you think of being on the phone with someone in a loud place, but they can still hear you and not everything around you. Software-wise, the One is rocking HTC's proprietary UI, Sense 5.0. And while it'll take too long to get all the way into Sense 5.0 and what it offers, the biggest difference is Blink Feed, the Windows Phone-like default homepage featuring your social and magazine feeds all up front. So technically, there's no need for widgets. I personally love widgets, so it didn't really do it for me, but it sure looks pretty. Overall, I'd say the HTC One is a freaking beast and crazy competitive with what's in the market right now, especially because you can buy it for as low as $99 with a 2-year contract. So what do you think? Does HTC have a winner with the One? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can click this annotation to see all of our other videos. You can go to our blog and read all our typed out stuff. There's just so much to do. I'm Trisha Hirschberger, and I'm gonna go take some more fun videos. Check Twitter.